A call to action: living with purpose in an age of distraction. Ladies and gentlemen, we are living in a world that is louder, faster, and more distracting than any generation before us. Notifications are buzzing, screens are glowing, and the noise of life is constantly competing for our attention. But let me ask you, what are you doing with your life? Are you living with purpose, or are you scrolling away your destiny? There comes a time when you must silence the noise, when you must rise above the distractions and decide, I was not born to live average. I was not created to blend in. I was designed to stand out. Life is not a rehearsal. You don't get to rewind the clock. You don't get a second chance at this day. Every morning you wake up, you are given a gift called time, and how you spend it will decide who you become. Distraction is the enemy of destiny. It will rob you of focus. It will rob you of dreams. It will rob you of the life you were meant to live. But when you live with purpose, when you lock in on your vision, when you decide, I will not waste my life, that's when you rise. Don't let technology own you. Don't let fear stop you. Don't let procrastination bury your potential. This is your season. This is your moment. This is your call to action. Because the world doesn't need another distracted soul. It needs a focused dreamer, a disciplined worker, a courageous leader. And that leader is you. So make the decision today, I will no longer live halfway. I will no longer be pulled in every direction. I will live with clarity. I will live with intention. I will live with purpose. Because in this age of distraction, your purpose is your power. And once you embrace it, nothing, no noise, no fear, no obstacle can stop you. Distraction is the silent thief of greatness. It doesn't come in loud. It doesn't storm into your life. It sneaks in quietly, disguised as entertainment, disguised as urgency, disguised as something harmless. And before you know it, hours have passed, days have slipped away, and opportunities have been lost. You don't even notice the cost of distraction until you look back and wonder, where did my time go? Where did my dreams go? We live in a time when attention is the most valuable currency. Everyone is fighting for it. Social media, television, endless notifications, gossip, drama, news cycles that never stop. If you give away your attention carelessly, you are giving away your future, because your future is shaped by what you focus on daily. If your focus is scattered, your life will be scattered. But if your focus is sharp, your destiny becomes unstoppable. Distraction feels comfortable because it offers a temporary escape. Scrolling, binge watching, or engaging in trivial conversations gives us the illusion of activity while producing nothing of real value. It feels easy. It feels fun. But that comfort comes at a dangerous cost. It robs you of the effort you should be investing into your vision, your growth, your purpose. Distraction is like a slow poison. You don't see its effects immediately, but over time it weakens the fire inside you. Ask yourself this: how many dreams have died not because someone was incapable, not because someone lacked talent, but because they got distracted? The truth is, the graveyard is full of people who had potential, but they allowed distractions to keep them from fulfilling their destiny. They were capable, but not focused. They were talented, but not disciplined. And that, my friend, is the tragedy of distraction. It destroys destinies not with a single blow, but with small daily compromises. Distractions also come dressed in good clothing. Sometimes they appear as opportunities that don't align with your purpose. Sometimes they come as people who drain your energy, pulling you into their storms instead of helping you build your vision. You've got to be wise enough to recognize when something is pulling you away from your path. Just because it looks good doesn't mean it's good for you. The difference between the extraordinary and the average is not always talent, it's focus. The extraordinary person has learned how to block out the noise, how to say no to what doesn't serve their future, and how to lock in on what truly matters. They know that energy, once wasted on distraction, can never be fully regained. And so they protect their attention like it's gold, because it is. Remember this: the enemy of your destiny doesn't have to destroy you, it just has to distract you. If it can keep you busy, if it can keep you entertained, if it can keep you scrolling instead of building, doubting instead of acting, then it has already won. That's why mastering your focus is not optional. It is essential, because your ability to rise, to achieve, to step into your purpose depends on how well you fight against the enemy called distraction. Every morning you wake up, you are handed a priceless gift called time. It doesn't matter who you are, where you live, or what you own. Each one of us is given 24 hours. No one gets more, no one gets less. The wealthy don't buy extra hours, and the poor don't get fewer. But here's the truth: what separates people is not how much time they have, but how they use it. Time is the great equalizer, yet it becomes the great divider when some people value it while others waste it. Think about it. Life is measured in moments, not in money. You can lose money and earn it back. You can lose possessions and replace them. But once you lose time, it's gone forever. Every tick of the clock is a piece of your life passing by, and you never get it back. That's why time must be treated as the most precious currency you will ever hold. When you waste time, you are not just wasting hours, you are wasting your life. Every day is an opportunity to move one step closer to your purpose, your dream, your destiny. But how often do people let a whole day slip by, promising themselves they will start tomorrow? They live on someday island, where their goals are always postponed until conditions feel perfect. But the truth is, tomorrow is not promised. The only day you are guaranteed is today. And if you don't use today wisely, you have gambled with the only resource you can never replace. The most successful people in the world understand this principle. They wake up with urgency. They know that every day is a chance to plant seeds, to build, to grow. They don't treat their time casually because they recognize its value. Meanwhile, the average person throws away hours on distractions, on procrastination, on meaningless activity. And years later, they look back with regret, realizing they traded the gift of time for nothing. You see, time doesn't wait for anyone. It keeps moving forward whether you use it or not. Some people complain that they don't have enough time, but the truth is they don't have a lack of time, they have a lack of priorities. They're too busy giving their hours to things that don't matter. If you want to change your life, you must change how you spend your time, because how you spend your days becomes how you spend your life. Every sunrise is a fresh start, a new opportunity to write your story differently. The past is gone, you cannot change it. The future is uncertain, you cannot control it. But today, right now, this very moment, is in your hands. And if you choose to use this day with focus and intention, you are not just living, you are creating a legacy. So the question is, what will you do with this gift of 24 hours? Will you waste it on meaningless activity? Or will you invest it into building your dream, into serving your purpose, into becoming the person you were created to be? Because one thing is certain: time will pass, whether you use it or not. And one day, you will look back and realize whether you honored the gift or squandered it. You were not put on this earth to live a small, ordinary, forgettable life. Deep inside you is a seed of greatness, a unique gift that no one else can duplicate. But the tragedy is this: too many people settle. They settle for average jobs, average dreams, average relationships, average living. They convince themselves this is just the way life is. But I came to remind you, you were not born to be average. You were born to rise, to lead, to impact, to live a life that has meaning. The world will try to fit you into a box. It will tell you to conform, to follow the crowd, to stay in your lane. Society loves average because average doesn't challenge the status quo. Average doesn't disrupt the system. But let me tell you something, greatness is never comfortable, and it never comes from fitting in. It comes from standing out, from daring to believe that your life has more purpose than just surviving day to day. Look at history. Every person who changed the world refused to be average. They didn't accept the limits placed on them. They were told it was impossible, but they tried anyway. They were told they weren't good enough, but they pushed forward anyway. And today we remember their names because they dared to rise above mediocrity. The question is, when your time is over, will people remember your excuses or will they remember your impact? Average is the enemy of excellence. It's the place where dreams go to die, where potential is buried. You don't have to live an average life, but if you accept it, if you stop fighting for more, then you become stuck in a cycle of mediocrity. And the sad part is, you'll always know deep inside that you were meant for more. That's the pain of settling. It's not just what you lose on the outside, it's what you kill on the inside. You are not average because there is something inside you that only you can give the world. Your voice, your vision, your ideas, your talents, they are unique. No one else can be you. But if you choose to hide that gift, if you choose to play small, then the world will never experience the greatness you carry. Don't let fear, doubt, or distraction convince you to bury your gift. Average people bury their gifts. Great people use them. The truth is, greatness doesn't require perfection. You don't have to be the smartest, the strongest, or the most talented. You just have to be willing to rise above the level of average by committing to growth, discipline, and courage. The difference between those who settle and those who soar is not ability, it's choice. And every day you have a choice. Will you live as an average version of yourself, or will you fight for the extraordinary life you were created to live? Never forget this. Average may be common, but you are not common. You are rare. You are one of one. And the moment you decide to stop settling for average and start walking in your purpose, the moment you refuse to be limited by fear or comfort, that's the moment you step into the life you were born to live. You were not created for mediocrity. You were created for greatness. Average is crowded. Average is full of people who gave up too soon, who let fear dictate their choices, who traded their dreams for comfort. But you, yes, you, were not born to live on that level. There is nothing ordinary about you. The very fact that you are alive, breathing, and standing here today means you are carrying a purpose far too great to settle for mediocrity. When you were born, you came into this world with potential that is unmatched. No one else has your exact fingerprints, your exact voice, your exact imagination. That's not an accident. That's a sign you were created as 101, a limited edition, a masterpiece. Yet too often, people trade their uniqueness for sameness. They silence their greatness because the world tells them, just fit in. Just blend in, just stay quiet. But fitting in has never built legacies. The danger of average is that it looks safe. It feels comfortable. It doesn't demand too much of you. But comfort zones are where dreams go to die. Living average might protect you from failure, but it will also keep you from success. You cannot rise and remain average at the same time. You must choose. And if you choose to play small, don't be surprised when your life feels small. Think of the giants of history, the innovators, the leaders, the visionaries. They weren't average thinkers, and they weren't average dreamers. They refused to conform to the limits around them. They knew they were born for more. And let me tell you something, the only difference between them and most people is the courage to believe that more was possible. You have that same courage waiting inside of you, but it needs to be activated. The truth is, average will always invite you back. It whispers, take it easy. Don't push yourself. Just do enough to get by. But deep inside, you know that just enough will never satisfy your soul. You will always feel restless when you live beneath your potential. That restlessness is not a curse, it's a reminder that you are carrying something bigger than average, something extraordinary. You are not average because your life has a unique assignment. The way you think, the way you create, the way you influence, it matters. You have the ability to touch lives, to shift environments, to leave a mark that can outlive you. Average people never step into that reality because they are too afraid of what others might think. But those who rise refuse to shrink to make others comfortable. And so every day you wake up, you face a choice. Will I walk the easy path of average, or will I fight for the life I was destined to live? Because average may be popular, but greatness is powerful. And if you're honest with yourself, you know deep down, you were not put here just to take up space, pay bills, and die. You were placed here to rise, to impact, and to live a life that demands to be remembered. The greatest tragedy in life is not death. It is to live without purpose, to breathe, to exist, to wake up every day and go through the motions, yet never know why you are here. Purpose is the engine of life. Without it, even success feels empty. Without it, money feels meaningless. Without it, days turn into weeks, weeks turn into years, and years slip into a lifetime that leaves no impact. When you don't know your purpose, you live in circles. You get busy, you work hard, you chase things, but none of it fills the emptiness inside. You can be surrounded by people and still feel alone. You can achieve goals and still feel unsatisfied. Why? Because achievement without alignment is hollow. Activity without purpose is wasted energy. And time spent without direction is the most expensive mistake you can ever make. Look around, so many people are alive, but they are not truly living. They wake up, go to work, pay bills, and repeat the cycle day after day, year after year. They have mastered the art of existing, but they have never tapped into the power of living. Purpose is what separates a life of survival from a life of significance. Without it, you can survive, but you'll never thrive. Purpose is the reason you endure. It's the reason you push through challenges, the reason you refuse to give up when life gets hard. Without purpose, the smallest obstacle feels like a mountain. But with purpose, even mountains look like stepping stones. People who lack purpose quit easily because they don't know why they're fighting. But people with purpose can take pain, setbacks, rejection, and still keep moving forward. The saddest part of living without purpose is regret. Too many people reach the end of their lives and look back with sorrow, not because of what they did, but because of what they never did. The books they never wrote, the businesses they never started, the dreams they never pursued, the love they never gave. And all of it was buried, not because they lacked potential, but because they lacked purpose. Purpose is not just about what you achieve for yourself. It's about what you contribute to others. It's about impact. It's about legacy. You see, when you live without purpose, your life becomes small, centered only on you. But when you discover purpose, your life expands because you begin to see the difference you can make in the lives of others. Without that, you may live long, but you will not live well. So understand this: the true tragedy is not failing, not losing, not falling short. Those are just lessons along the way. The true tragedy is to reach the end of your journey and realize you never lived the life you were meant to live. And every single day that you spend without purpose is another day lost to that tragedy. Technology is one of the greatest gifts of our generation. With a single device in your hand, you can connect with the world, learn new skills, build businesses, share your voice, and impact lives across continents. But here's the danger: what was designed to serve us has begun to control us. Too many people are not using technology as a tool. Instead, technology is using them. Think about it. How many hours do people lose every day scrolling through endless feeds, chasing likes, drowning in notifications? The phone that was meant to be a gateway to opportunity has become a prison for focus. The tool that could build empires is now destroying attention spans. Technology itself is not the enemy, but when you allow it to master you, it becomes the greatest distraction of your life. You must understand your phone, your laptop, your apps, your social media, they are tools. Just like a hammer can build a house or break a window, technology can build your future or break your focus. The difference lies in how you use it. The problem is not the tool. The problem is the hand holding it. If you don't take control, the tool will take control of you. History shows us that tools were created to multiply human potential. Fire was a tool. The wheel was a tool. Electricity was a tool. Each one lifted humanity higher when used with purpose. But no tool in history has ever been this powerful or this dangerous as the technology we hold today. It can connect you to knowledge, or it can drown you in nonsense. It can create wealth, or it can waste your time. It can sharpen your mind, or it can numb it. Some people argue, I don't have time. The truth is, they do. They're just giving their time away to screens that don't serve them. They're letting technology drain their energy instead of directing it. Imagine if all the hours spent watching meaningless videos or arguing online were invested in learning, building, and creating. Imagine the businesses, the inventions, the masterpieces that would exist today. The question is, are you using technology, or is technology using you? The people who rise in this generation are those who have mastered this tool instead of being mastered by it. They understand that social media is not just for entertainment, it's for influence. They understand that the internet is not just for scrolling, it's for learning. They understand that apps are not just for wasting time, they're for building systems. They take what distracts others and use it to create opportunity. Remember this, technology will amplify whatever you bring to it. If you bring distraction, it will amplify distraction. If you bring focus, it will amplify focus. If you bring laziness, it will amplify laziness. But if you bring vision, if you bring purpose, if you bring discipline, technology will amplify your greatness. It was never meant to be your master. It was always meant to be your servant. And the moment you reclaim control, you'll discover how powerful this tool can truly be. Procrastination doesn't shout. It doesn't knock at your door with warning signs. It whispers softly, you can do it later, and that whisper feels harmless. One delay, one excuse, one postponed decision, it doesn't look dangerous. But the truth is, procrastination is a silent poison. It kills dreams slowly, day by day, moment by moment, until what once felt possible now feels impossible. The danger of procrastination is that it disguises itself as comfort. It tricks you into believing you have more time. I'll start tomorrow. I'll do it next week. I'll wait until the timing is right. But tomorrow turns into next week turns into next year, and before you know it, you're standing in the same place, wondering why nothing has changed. The poison has already worked. It stole your future while you were waiting for the perfect time. What most people don't realize is this: procrastination is not just the act of doing nothing. It is the decision to delay your destiny. Every time you put off your goals, you are giving your power to fear, to doubt, to laziness. You are teaching yourself that your dreams are not urgent, that your purpose can wait. And the more you delay, the harder it becomes to start. Procrastination doesn't just waste your time, it weakens your belief. Look at the graveyards of the world. They are filled with books never written, songs never sung, businesses never started, ideas never pursued. Not because the people lacked talent, not because they lacked opportunity, but because they procrastinated until time ran out. That is why procrastination is dangerous. It does not take your life at once. It takes it little by little until nothing is left. And here's the truth. Procrastination always feels justified in the moment. You tell yourself, I need to rest. I'm not ready. I'll wait until I have more resources, more clarity, more confidence. But if you wait for perfect conditions, you will wait forever. The stars will never align. The timing will never be flawless. Those who achieve great things don't wait until they feel ready. They start, and in the process of starting, they become ready. Procrastination is not just about time, it's about identity. Every time you procrastinate, you reinforce the belief that you're someone who delays, someone who avoids, someone who doesn't follow through. But when you take action, even small action, you reinforce a different identity. You prove to yourself that you are disciplined, focused, and capable. The poison of procrastination is neutralized by the antidote of action. Understand this: procrastination will rob you quietly, but consistently. It doesn't need to destroy you in one big moment. It just needs to keep you comfortable, distracted, and delayed. And by the time you realize how much you've lost, it's too late to get those moments back. That's why you must treat procrastination like the silent killer it is, because every delay is another piece of your destiny slipping away. Focus is the ultimate multiplier of strength. When your energy, your attention, your effort is scattered in 100 different directions, you feel weak, unproductive, and frustrated. But the moment you gather all of that energy and channel it toward one clear target, you become unstoppable. Just like sunlight scattered warms the skin, but sunlight concentrated through a magnifying glass can start a fire. Your focus has the power to ignite greatness. The world we live in thrives on distraction. Everywhere you look, something is fighting for your attention. But here's the truth: you cannot build a powerful life with a distracted mind. A distracted mind will always produce average results, but a focused mind can achieve extraordinary things. That's why those who master focus rise above the noise, while those who fall into distraction stay stuck in mediocrity. Think about it. Every great invention, every powerful breakthrough, every world-changing idea came from someone who locked in on a vision and refused to be pulled away. They weren't smarter than everyone else. They weren't luckier. They were just more focused. They had the ability to say no to what didn't matter, so they could say yes to what did. And that single skill, focus, became their greatest advantage. Focus creates clarity. When you are focused, you stop wasting time chasing every shiny thing that comes your way. You stop being overwhelmed by too many options. You know exactly where you're going, and every step you take is aligned with that destination. Clarity removes confusion. And when you remove confusion, you remove hesitation. And when hesitation disappears, momentum takes over. Focus also fuels consistency. Anyone can work hard for a day. Anyone can be motivated for a week, but it takes focus to keep going for months, years, even decades. Focus is what keeps you in the fight when the excitement wears off. Focus is what reminds you of your why when the struggle gets real. And that's why focus is not just about productivity, it's about perseverance. Here's the danger. When you don't control your focus, someone else will. If you don't decide what matters most, the world will decide for you. And it will fill your days with distractions, drama, and meaningless activity that drains your energy but produces nothing of value. That's why focus is not just power, it's protection. It protects your time, your energy, and your destiny from being stolen by things that don't matter. So remember this: energy without focus is wasted. Talent without focus is wasted. Time without focus is wasted. But when you combine your energy, your talent, and your time into one direction with laser focus, you become a force of nature. That's when doors open, opportunities multiply, and impossible dreams become possible, because focus creates power.